Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Namo Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Namo Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, 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 Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana
Wala pa, ma'am. Pero naka-online na po siya.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radharani Shama Sundar, Vrindavan, Hari Bol, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur. Haribol, Haribol. Salamat po. Namaste. Krishna Krishna.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Elinet. Haribol.
Haribol, thank you very much, Alan. Yeah. uh, let me check here. Give me a second, sandali. Medyo nagluluko tong aking ano. Goodness.
Sayang.
Sira na?
Pala ito nalagay sa freezer. Pagtapos ng klase niya, sabihan niyo ako.
Yeah. I think passcode. Dali yan. Rhea? Rhea?
Yes po, sir.
Ah,
Hari po.
Anong passcode? Anong passcode nito?
604788 po.
804.
6 po. 604.
Sandali. 604. 604. 76?
788.
788. Okay. Yun. Okay. I-accept mo lang ako. Haribo. Okay, very good. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, no? Sige. Let's all pray muna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddhasvarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktavrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Freddy.
Namaste.
Namaste. So, I want to welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, we are going to continue our reading and discussion. Who could be our first reader? Would it be Mr. Pravin?
Yes po, sir. Text
Okay. Yeah.
We are at text 15, chapter 3.
All right. You can
Haribol.
go ahead and read. You can go ahead and read it. Yeah.
Haribol, text 15.
Okay.
Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of the Pandav, was from his very childhood a great devotee of the Lord. Even while playing with dolls, he used to worship Lord Krishna, by imitating the worship of the family deity. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated in chapter 6, text 41, that even a person who has failed in the proper discharge of the yoga practice is given a chance to take birth in the house of devout Brahman or in the house of rich men like the Kshatriya kings or rich merchants. But Maharaj Parikshit was more than that because he was a great devotee of the Lord since his previous birth, and as such, he took his birth in an imperial family of the Kuru and especially that of the Pandav. So, from the very beginning of his childhood, he had the chance of knowing intimately the devotional service of Lord Krishna in his own family. The Pandav, all being devotees of the Lord, certainly venerated family deities in the royal palace for worship. Children who appear in such families, fortunately, generally imitate such worship of the deities, even in the very childhood play. By the grace of Lord Sri Krishna, we had the chance of being born in the Vaishnava family, and in our childhood, we imitated the worship of Lord Krishna by imitating our father. And our father encouraged us in all respects to observe all functions such as the Rathayatra and Dolayatra ceremonies. And he used to spend money liberally for distributing prasadam to us children and our friends. Our spiritual master, who also took his birth in a Vaishnava family, got all inspirations from his great Vaishnava father, Thakur Bhakti Vinod. That is the way of all lucky Vaishnava families. The celebrated Mirabai was a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna as the great lifter of Govardhan Hill. The life history of many such devotees is almost the same because there is always symmetry between the early lives of all great devotees of the Lord. According to Jiva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit must have heard about the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna at Vrindavan, for he used to imitate the pastimes with his young playmates. According to Sridhar Swami, Maharaj Parikshit used to imitate the worship of family deity by elderly members. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti also confirms the viewpoint of Jiva Goswami. So, accepting either of them, Maharaj Parikshit was naturally inclined to Lord Krishna from his very childhood, and he might have imitated either of the above mentioned procedures, and all of them establish his great devotion from his very childhood, a symptom of a Mahabhagavat. Such Mahabhagavat are called Nitya Siddha or souls liberated from birth. But but there are also others who may not be liberated from birth, but who develop a tendency for devotional service by association, and they are called Siddha Sadhana Siddha. There is no difference between the two in the ultimate issue, and so the conclusion is that everyone can become Sadhana Siddha, a devotee of the Lord, simply by association with the pure devotees. The concrete example is our great spiritual master, Sri Narad Muni. In his previous life, he was simply a boy of a maid servant, but through association with great devotees, he became a devotee of the Lord of his own standard, unique in the history of devotional service. Hari Bol.
Aribal, thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So here we can learn that Vaishnava devotees can either be devotees from birth, meaning, when they were born, their fathers and their mothers and their parents are already devotees. So they just took up the devotional attitude, the devotional service from their parents because their parents are great devotees as well. Kaya napaka swerte, very, very fortunate for those devotees whose parents are already devotees of Krishna, because it becomes easier no, for these individuals or devotees to gain uh, um, spiritual emancipation. In other words, spiritual knowledge, because their parents are already devotees. Just like Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, when he was a very very little boy, uh, he was always his father gave him a it's like a toy, but like a cart, and gave him a mirdanga, so he could play the mirdanga at a very young age, no? And this he was always um, he was always worshiping Jagannath and Lord Balaram and and Lady Subhadra at a very young age. Why was it like that? Because he was trained by his parents. Okay. So it's either you are born in the family of devotees, it's actually considered to be a high birth. When you are born in the family of devotees, that is considered to be high birth. No? So those devotees who's got right now, they have families, and they have children, and their children are actually learning devotional service from them like this. Those children are considered to be high birth, high birth yan. Now, the other one is they are not uh, born with devotee parents, but simply by associating with pure devotees of Krishna, simply by the presence of a pure devotee, a person can also become a pure devotee himself. An example of that is Narada Muni. No, Narada Muni, when he was a child, um, he was um, he was with his mother. Yung mother niya kasi maid servant, no? Yung mother niya maid servant, and it so happened that it was the rainy season in India, and uh, great devotees during the rainy season, they go to a particular area where they gather there. Tapos they have spiritual discussions for 3 or 4 months in a year. So he had that privilege of being with his mother, and his mother was the one taking care of the devotees. And after the devotees have eaten, uh, his mother would give Narada Muni this Mahaprasad, and he is able to actually eat this Mahaprasad, plus the uh, the advantage of being with great devotees. No, so dalawa yan. It's either a person is born with a family with parents who are already devotees, and they're able to adopt devotional service from their parents, or they are not born with devotee parents, but it so happened that at a very young age they also get to associate with pure devotees of Krishna. No, so in this life, even though you're already an adult, but you were given the opportunity to associate with a pure devotee of Krishna, then that is a good fortune for anyone in this world to be associating with a pure devotee of Krishna, because such association is considered to be spiritual, and uh, has the potency to change one's heart from being a lover of this world to a lover of Krishna. Okay, so let's read furthermore.
Haribol, namaste.
Namaste.
Okay lang po yung audio ko, sir.
Yes, yes, very clear.
Text 16. Translation. Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, was also full in transcendental knowledge and was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva. So there must have been discussion of Lord Krishna, who is glorified by great philosophers and in the company of great devotees. Purport. The word satam is very important in this verse. Satam means the pure devotees who have no other desire than to serve the Lord. Only in the association of such devotees are the transcendental glories of Lord Krishna properly discussed. It is said by the Lord that his topics are all full of spiritual significance, and once one properly hears about him in the association of the satam, certainly one senses the great potency and so automatically attains to the devotional states of life. As already described, Maharaj Pariksit was a great devotee of the Lord from his very birth, and so was Sukadev Goswami. Both of them were on the same level, although it appeared that Maharaj Pariksit was a great king, accustomed to royal facilities, whereas Sukadev Goswami was a typical renouncer of the world. So much so that he did not even put a cloth on his body. Superficially, Maharaj Pariksit and Sukadev Goswami might seem to be opposites, but basically they were both unalloyed pure devotees of the Lord. When such devotees are assembled together, there can be no topics save discussions of the glories of the Lord, or Bhakti Yoga. In the Bhagavad Gita, also, when there were talks between the Lord and his devotee Arjuna, there could not be any topic other than Bhakti Yoga. However, the mundane scholars may speculate on it in their own ways. The use of the word cha after Vaishya Sakti suggests, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, that both Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit were of the same category, settled long before. Although one was playing the part of the master and the other the disciple, since Lord Krishna is the center of the topics, the word Vasudev, Parayana, or devotee of Vasudev, suggests devotee of Lord Krishna, the common aim. Although there were many others who assembled at the place where Maharaj Pariksit was fasting, the natural conclusion is that there was no topic other than the glorification of Lord Krishna, because the principal speaker was Sukadev Goswami and the chief audience was Maharaj Pariksit. So Srimad Bhagavatam, as it was spoken and heard by two principal devotees of the Lord, is only for the glorification of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Haribol.
Ribol. So both Maharaj Pariksit, no, and of course Sukadev Goswami were of the same level. Ang difference lang is that Maharaj Pariksit was a Kshatriya because he was a king. You know, he was the son of Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna. So yung family talaga nila is Kshatriya. So at a very young age, Abhimanyu uh, was already a great devotee, And of course, his son, Maharaj Pariksit, uh, also became a great devotee. No? And yung mga lolo niya kasi ang five Pandava brothers, no? Okay, yung mga grandfathers niya yung mga yon. And Sukadev Goswami is the son of uh, uh, is the son of Srila Vyasadeva. Srila Vyasadeva is the literary incarnation of Krishna. So, because both of them were sons of great Vaishnava devotees, naturally they are also very, very inclined in devotional service. Ito nga lang, because of the arrangement of Krishna, one became the speaker and one became the disciple. But when you talk about their lineage, yung lineage nila is that they belong to great Vaishnava families. Ganyan. So, let's continue our reading.
Ma'am Sharni po.
Go ahead, Charnie.
Haribol. Haribol namaste po.
Haribo.
Text 17, translation. Both by rising and setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. Purport. This verse indirectly confirms the greater importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service. Time and tide wait for no man. So the time indicated by the sunrise and the sunset will be uselessly wasted if such time is not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. Even a fraction of the duration of life wasted cannot be compensated by any amount of gold. Human life is simply awarded to a living entity, or jiva, so he can realize his spiritual identity and his permanent source of happiness. A living being, especially the human being, is seeking happiness because happiness is the natural situation of the living entity. But he is vainly seeking happiness in the material atmosphere. A living being is constitutionally a spiritual spark of the complete whole, and his happiness can be perfectly perceived in spiritual activities. The Lord is the complete spirit whole, and his name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and personality are all identical with him. Once a person comes into contact with any of the above mentioned energies of the Lord through the proper channel of devotional service, the door of perfection is immediately open. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has explained such contact in the following words. Endeavors in devotional service are never baffled, nor is there failure. A slight beginning of such activities is sufficient even to deliver a person from the great ocean of material fears. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text 40. As a highly potent drug injected intravenously acts at once on the whole body. Similarly, the transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ear of the pure devotee of the Lord can act very efficiently. Oral realization of the transcendental messages implies total realization, just as fructification of one part of a tree implies fructification of all other parts. This realization for a moment in the association of pure devotees like Sukadev Goswami prepares one's complete life for eternity. And as such son and as such, the Son fails to rob the pure devotee of his duration of life, inasmuch as he is constantly busy in the devotional service of the Lord, purifying his existence. Death is a symptom of the material infection of the eternal living being, and due to material infection, only the eternal living entity is subjected to the law of birth, death, old age, and disease. The materialistic way of pious activities like charity, etc., is recommended in the Samriti Sastras as quoted by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. Money given in charity to a suitable person is guaranteed bank balance in the next life. Such charity is recommended to be given to a Brahman. If the money is given in charity to a non-Brahman without Brahminical qualification, the money is returned in the next life in the same proportion. If it is given in charity to a half-educated Brahman, even then the money is returned double. If the money is given in charity to a learned and fully qualified Brahman, the money is returned 100,000 times. And if the money is given to a Veda Paraga, or one who has factually realized the path of the Vedas, it is returned by unlimited multiplication. The ultimate end of Vedic knowledge is to realize the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. There is a guarantee of money being returned if given in charity, regardless of the proportion. Similarly, a moment passed in the association of a pure devotee by hearing and chanting the transcendental messages of the Lord is a perfect guarantee for eternal life, for returning home back to Godhead. Madana gatpa punar janman ni navidyate. In other words, a devotee of the Lord is guaranteed eternal life. A devotee's old age or disease in the present life is but an impetus to such guaranteed eternal life. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you, thank you very much, Shani, Haribol. So the law of time, we are all under the jurisdiction of the law of nature, and one of the law of nature is the law of time. And the sunrise and the sunset, no, sa umaga, and then sa hapon when the sun sets, is a sign of time, and it actually affects the material body. The material body gets old by 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 the experience of a sunrise and the sunset. Ganon, no? Everybody in this whole universe is affected by the law of time. Yeah. But somebody who is a devotee of Krishna um, is unaffected by this. Why is he not affected by the law of time? Somebody may probably argue, bakit po sila Bhaktivedanta, sila Bhaktisiddhanta, they were all pure devotees of Krishna, but, they all went through the process of old age, ganon. The body gets old, but they are never affected. They are never affected by the law of time because they are acting in their own spiritual, natural condition as a spiritual being. In other words, uh, they don't get to come back here again. So therefore, the law of time stop The law of time stops when a person becomes a devotee. Because in his next life, he is assured of going back to Krishna, where there is full eternality. No, full eternality. Yeah. And it is also described here that when a discussion of spiritual knowledge is seen um, with a great devotee and listeners like that or disciples, uh, they only tackle spiritual knowledge. In other words, they only discuss Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's entourage, Krishna's holy names, Krishna's personality, etc. Just like, when you get to hear the discussion between Arjuna and Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, wala naman sila doon na they did not um, start discussion on mundane matters. What they were discussing are all transcendental knowledge. Now, the same thing with Maharaj Pariksit and Sukadev Goswami. Especially, Sukadev Goswami is about to leave his body in 7 days. Yung imminent death in 7 days made it so that there is a continuous discussion of spiritual discussion. No? Non-stop yon. Walang kain-kain yun. Walang break yun. 7 days yun. You know? And probably you may question, hindi sila nagutom dun, sir? Hindi sila na ano, ganito, ganyan. You have to remember that's 5,000 years ago. And 5,000 years ago, ano pa yan? That was still part of the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age, where meditation, a yogi can meditate for 1,000 years. Pwede niya gawin yun. They just meditate like that without break. So similarly, in this case of the discussion between Maharaj Pariksit and Sukadev Goswami, it was non-stop until Maharaj Pariksit was bitten by this flying snake, as the curse of this young Brahmana, no, that he would have to die in 7 days. Ganon. So, similarly, uh, our spiritual master and all the param gurus in our line of disciplic succession, they don't speak nonsense. Whenever they have audiences, like students and disciples, and even non-devotees around, what you hear from a pure devotee of Krishna are just simply glories of Krishna, or how you can get out from the vicious cycle of birth and death in this material world. The spiritual master would always tackle these types of discussion. Never can we hear a pure devotee or a pure Vaishnava tackle mundane subjects. It is always spiritual and transcendental subjects. Okay, let's continue our reading.
Ma'am Elinet.
Alinette, you there?
Sorry po, ngayon ko lang
Okay,
na-mute.
no
Do the
worries.
tree, do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the beasts not eat and discharge semen? The materialistic man of the modern age will argue that life or part of it is never meant for discussion of theosophical or theological arguments. Life is meant for the maximum duration of existence, for eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, making merry, and enjoying life. The modern man wants to live forever for the advancement of material science, and there are many foolish theories for prolonging life to the maximum duration. But the Srimad Bhagavatam affirms that life is not meant for so-called economic development or advancement of materialistic science, for the hedonistic philosophy of eating, mating, drinking, and merrymaking. Life is solely meant for tapas, for purifying existence so that one may enter into eternal life just after the end of the human form of life. The materialist wants to prolong life as much as possible because they have no information of the next life. They want to get the maximum comforts in this present life because they think conclusively that there is no life after death. This ignorance about the eternity of the living being and the change of covering in the material world has played havoc in the structure of modern human society. Consequently, there are many problems multiplied by various plans of modernized men. The plans for solving the problems of society have only aggravated the troubles, even if it is possible to prolong life more than 100 years. Advancement of human civilization does not necessarily follow. The Bhagavatam says that certain trees live for hundreds and thousands of years. At Brindaban, there is a tamarind tree. The place is known as Imlit Tala, which is said to have existed since the time of Lord Krishna. The Calcutta Botanical Garden, there is a banyan tree, said to be older than 500 years. And there are many such trees all over the world. Swami Sankaracharya lived only 32 years, and Lord Chaitanya lived 48 years. Does it mean that the prolonged lives of the above-mentioned trees are more important than Sankara or Chaitanya? Prolonged life without spiritual value is not very important. One may doubt that trees have life because they do not breathe. But modern scientists like Bose have already proved that there is life in plants. So breathing is no sign of actual life. The Bhagavatam says that the bellows of the blacksmith breathes very soundly, but that does not mean that the bellows has life. The materialist will argue that life in the tree and life in the man cannot be compared because the tree cannot enjoy life by eating palatable dishes or by enjoying sexual intercourse. In reply to this, the Bhagavatam asks whether other animals like the dogs and hogs living in the same village with human beings do not eat and enjoy sexual life. The specific utterance of Srimad Bhagavatam in regard to other animals means that persons who are simply engaged in planning a better type of animal life, consisting of eating, breathing, and mating, are also animals in the shape of human beings. A society of such polished animals cannot benefit suffering humanity, for an animal can easily harm another animal, but rarely do good. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much, Elinette. So here we learn that um, there is a great difference between life and non-life. No, unfortunately, in the so-called modern world that we have, um, the scientists, the so-called intellectual people, philosophers, scientists, they do not see any difference between non-life and life. They do not see any difference there, actually, because they cannot define what life is. Their definition to life is that life comes from matter. So how can they define real life? What is the definition of life as it is? Life means it is everlasting, correct? Because that's life. So for them, the idea of everlasting is not within is not within their vocabulary. Why? Because they only accept one energy. Material energy lang ina-accept nila. They don't accept the spiritual energy. They don't have any idea that human beings, animals, beasts, and even plants, they have a material body, but within the body is a spiritual being. They don't see it as like that. They see it as material body only. So therefore, they cannot really define what life is, and they cannot define what death is. They cannot define. If you cannot define what life is, how can you define death? Because as far as they understand, life comes from matter, and matter is dead. Matter is dead. It is dead energy. It doesn't have any life in it. The only reason why matter exists is because within that body is a life particle. There is a living being inside that body, and therefore that living being is called a living entity. No? That material body that you see, either human, beasts, animals, plants, um, aquatics, fowls, etc. There is a living principle inside that body. Unfortunately, the materialists don't see this. That's why, their perspective of life, their worldview of what life is all about, what is the purpose of existence, etc., is totally in ignorance. It is totally ignorant. Why? Because the purpose, if you're a materialist, somebody who only accepts material energy as the all and be all of everything in this world, okay? Because when you try to look with your eyes, Itong mata natin, pag tumingin tayo dito sa mundo, when we try to look at it, we don't see any spiritual energy, do we? We only see material bodies. We only see material bodies. Why? Because um, the reason why we aren't able to see the spiritual energies because of our ignorance. There is ignorance there. So for a materialist, the goal of life is simply sense gratification. Yeah. The goal of life is living in this world, working, having a family, getting old, and then dying. Ganun lang dito sa material world eh. You know, and, and you you try to look at the world. Dati, mabata pa ako, I'm still a very young person. Now I'm already like in my 40s and my 50s and some in my 60s na, ganyan. Natural lang yan, because dito sa mundo, talaga namang, we cannot, we cannot avoid death. Death will come. They know this. But but within themselves, they want to live, they want to live an immortal life. Although science has proven that uh, every material body has a beginning and has an end, but the soul within, okay, the reason why a person refuses to accept death, lives a life of narcissism, lives a life of eat, drink, and be merry is because, he deep within himself, he has this, he has this uh, concept or idea that I am eternal. Totoo naman, we are all eternal beings. You and I were all eternal beings. That's why they have this within themselves. That's why when you talk about death, they don't want to hear about death. Palitan mo yung topic na yan. I don't want to hear the topic of death because, they're so afraid with death because intrinsically, we don't die. Intrinsically. Okay? So even the materialists, they don't want to die. But the problem is that because they misidentify themselves as matter, they misidentify themselves as the material body, they will have to undergo birth, diseases, old age, and eventually death. Walang makakatakas po dyan because that is the reality of this world. No? The reality of material nature is that we have to undergo these four miseries of life. And this is actually the real problems of life. When you talk about problems of life, these are the real problems. And instead of scientists and so-called, philosophers and great minds of this world um, trying to look for solution to these four problems of life, they instead just live, the life of eat, drink, and be merry in this world. Dinadala nila sa pamilya nila yan, and they have that in each and every culture in this world na the goal of life is sense enjoyment. But unfortunately, you will have to face reality whether you like it or not. At the time of death, you will have to face it. 200 years from now, everybody in this world will have died. Their bodies, patay na lahat, 200 years from now. None of the human beings here can live more than 200. Hanggang 100 nga lang. And most of the people in the world will only live for like what, 60, 70, 80? Wala na. Some will live for 100, but very, very few can live for 120, like that. Much less 200. Nilagay ko na yan sa 200 because I'm sure that 200 years from now, nobody in this world will will be able to say that they can live an immortal life in this world. The body is mortal. Who is immortal? You are immortal. You, the living being, the non-material self. So the goal of life is to be able to really understand and realize Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Because even though a person may you know may physically live for 500 years or 1,000 years, what is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of living 100, 200, 300, 400 years? Ano ang benefit nun? Tell me, what is the benefit of that? You are still captivated and under the jurisdiction of material nature. Mamamatay din yung body mo. Okay? It will never be an infinite existence. So what is the benefit of living like that? It is described here in Srimad that there are trees in the world who has lived for like 5,000 years ago. Nandyan na sila. Panahon pa ni Krishna, nandyan na sila. It is described here. There is this tamarind tree in India who is still standing, lives there hanggang ngayon. But what is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of that? Pinoprolong mo lang yung ano mo, suffering mo, because when you're in the material world, you suffer the miseries of life, you suffer threefold miseries, you suffer the three types of anxiety and everything in between them. From the time you wake up in the morning until the time you retire at night, there are parade of miseries and pain in life. So a person who is intelligent understands that the goal of life is to be able to get out from this wheel of birth and death. Huwag ka nang bumalik dito. You don't come back here in this world anymore. Because coming back in this world, back to zero ka nun. Because you will again be engaged in activity, and every activity there is an equal and corresponding reaction. Meron pong karmic reactions yan. So you cannot run away from all this, aches of the body, heart aches and body aches and mind aches, etc. Right now in the world, there are so many people who are suffering, not only bodily aches, but mental aches. Mental health problems affect about 4 people in 10 in the world today. Ang dami po nagsasuffer, sobra. That's why as devotees of Krishna, we must have the same compassion as our spiritual master, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dapat po maawa tayo sa mga taong nasa paligid natin. And we have to feel compassion to everyone suffering. Kasi each individual is not really meant for suffering. In their constitutional position, we are all servants of Krishna and we are all living happily, blissfully with Krishna in the spiritual world. Yun yung constitutional position natin. But because of this forgetfulness, because of this darkness and ignorance, we try to misidentify ourselves with the body. That's why, forcefully, we are captivated by nature. Okay? So, hanggang dito na lang muna tayo. Lumagpas na tayo sa oras. If you have any questions, you may ask. May questions ba kayo?
Maraming salamat, Sir Radhe.
Walang anuman, Mr. Freddy, as always. Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody who participated in this class right now. At saka papasalamat ako sa mga admins natin, si Rhea and of course Mr. Freddie Merck, no? Sila yung admins ng room. Thank you very much. And of course yung mga co-hosts like Janner of Baguio. Thank you very much. Tsaka all of the readers, no? Yung mga nagbasa. Thank you so much for participating, no? In our discussion. And of course, everyone who is here in this room right now, please accept my most respectful obeisances to everyone. Okay? Over to you, Rhea. Haribol. Namaste.
Haribol, sir. Mag-closing kirtan po sina Sir Isaac and family po.
Oh, yes. Isaac, are you there? Isaac? Andiyan si Isaac? Ayun.
Haribol, sir.
Haribol. Please kindly do the exit kirtan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimati Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Sira Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta
Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta
Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur.
Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Nitai Gaur. Hari Bol Namaste.
Namaste.
Haribol, thank you very much, Isaac, and your family. Maraming salamat sa kirtan, exit kirtan. Nagpapasalamat din ako kay Elinet for the entry kirtan. Yan. And of course, everyone, yung mga bagong bisita natin dito. Thank you very much for coming. Si Mr. Ferdinand Fango ay nandito. Si Padre Sani. Thank you very much, guys, for coming over. And of course,
Miss Roselyn, Ma'am Roselyn Garanchon po. Welcome po
Sino?
sa Srimad. Roselyn Garanchon po.
okay. Nawala yung sound eh. Ano yung sabi mo? Ulitin mo lang. Rhea.
Si Ma'am Roselyn Garanchon po.
Oh, yes. Si Roselyn Garanchon. From Zamboanga yan. Si Roselyn Garanchon. Yeah. Thank you for coming over. Of course, long time no see kay Mabel. Nandito si Mabel ngayon. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you very much. Herbal everyone.
Maribel. How are you, Maribel?
Andito po ako ngayon sa Philippines, Inaubo.
Are you in the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's good. Ah, mukhang tatagal ka rito, no? Aabot ka hanggang sa Nitay Gore's installation sa Bukidnon. Pupunta ka ba ron?
I'm not sure po, sir, kasi nandun po ako sa Davao
Nasa Davao ka ngayon?
that time.
Ganun ba?
Opo.
Okay.
Tingnan ko lang po
Alright.
matry ko po, sir.
Yeah. Just try. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Si Joe and Florence, nandito rin. Thank you very much. Haribol. Haribol, namaste. Oo. So, yun. Over to you, Rhea.
Thank you very much din po si Radha at sa lahat po ng attendees. Haribol, Jai Gurudev Krishna. Haribol.
Jai Krishna. Ingat po kayo lahat. Ingat.